Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Em and welcome to part 3 in my reading romance series. This is the final episode. So if this is your first time catching one of these videos, this series is inspired by an Instagram account called Romancelandia University, where you can build a syllabus each semester to expand your romance reading spectrum. I feel like that's the wrong word, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going. In part 1, I read mid-century modern romance, which is a era of historical romance that I hadn't ever read before. In October, I read mystery romances or romantic mysteries. It was kind of a varying degree of how much romance was involved in the mystery element. And then for this video, I am going to be reading magical romance, which you might be saying, Emily, that's called fantasy romance or fanro or romantasy or whatever combination. And yes, I could have read romantasy. I was really looking for books that were romance first and fantasy second. And of course, I've already filmed the whole video, and so I'm recording the intro after the fact, but I really built my TBR as I went along because I was really trying to find things that centered the romance first, and maybe the magic was not as important. Like, you could take the fantasy element maybe out of the book and the plot would still hold. Like, that's kind of what I was looking for. So we can discuss how successful I was, but I read 4 books. We had varying levels of success. This was such a fun series to do, and I really hope to do it again in the future when Romancelandia University gets ready for another semester. So yeah, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy the following video, and let me know what your favorite magical romance book is down in the comments. I am starting off this vlog reading Letters to Half Moon Street by Sarah Wallace. This is a reread for me. This is one of my absolute favorite romance novels. It is epistolary. I will talk more about it in the next clip, but I just wanted to let you know that this is what I picked first because I knew it would be quick, I knew I would love it, and I knew it would make me really, really happy. And spoiler alert, it did all those things. So I will stop yapping and let you get into the rest of the video. Hi friends, so I have my first update for you, and it's happening in the car because if I don't update you now, I don't think I will have time to update you for like 2 more days. Do not have a lot of quiet sit down and talk to the camera time in the next couple of days, so we're just gonna, oh no! Okay, I think I fixed it. We'll see. I finished my reread of Letters to Half Moon Street by Sarah Wallace. I finished it in like 24 hours, maybe. I don't even think it was 24 hours. I think I started it Saturday evening and finished it Sunday morning. So 2 sittings basically. And it's still a 5-star. I love it so much. So if you have not heard me talk about, I feel like I talk about this book all the time, but if lucky you, this is the first time you've heard me speak of it, I'll tell you what it's about. This is an epistolary historical romance, but the thing I really love about Sarah Wallace's writing is that we are very much in a historical England. Like, this is a historical romance novel, but this is a historical England that Sarah Wallace has reimagined to be inclusive and to be queer and to have magic, basically. And I love it so much. I sat down with the intention of highlighting my favorite passages, and I quickly came to realize that there's no really quotable lines that make this a favorite for me. It's just, it's the interactions between the characters, even though it's epistolary, and just the general vibe everyone is giving off that makes it 5 stars. So I didn't end up highlighting a whole lot, but I was still just utterly delighted every single page. So this is about Gavin, who is second born son, and his family has sent him to be their steward at their London townhouse and to take care of things there. assumedly because these are things that need to be done and it would be a good practice in responsibility for Gavin. But like the real reason is his asshat of a brother is coming back to their family home with his wife as she prepares to give birth to their first child. And Gavin's parents are like, Gavin is not going to have a fun time in the same house as this douche canoe of a son that we have. So we're going to send him away so that he can have a better time. So that's kind of what you're walking into. But Gavin is very bookish. He's very quiet. He describes himself as being grumpy and taciturn. And so his sister, it starts off with letters between Gavin and his sister Jerry, and Jerry has gone off to like visit their cousins in the small like English village that they live in. And so they're corresponding by letter and they are best friends, and she's really encouraging him to like leave the house, go do things, go meet people. You're in London. There's like, do something with that. And so you're getting letters between Gavin and his sister and other members of his family. And then Gavin meets a man named Charles at his club. And then you get letters between Gavin and Charles as they become friends and as they start to fall in love. And it's just, it's the best. I love it so much. I love it so much. So highly recommend if you are a historical romance reader, if you want to like dip a toe into fantasy, or even if you're a fantasy reader and you love and you like light fantasy books. I just think this is like, it's so great. I love it so much. Utterly delightful. So it's still 5-star. It's gonna be really hard to top this book, but I know. I have faith. I did start A Power Unbound by Freya Marsk yesterday. This is book 3 in the Last Binding trilogy, and this is another series that I would say is pretty comparable to Sarah Wallace in that we are in historical England, and it is very much a historical romance, but there is magic. And these books are queer. So this is the final, dare I say that, final book. I have been putting off this book because I've been so excited for the couple that is in here that I'm afraid it will be disappointing. So I have put it off. But now it's finally time, and I'm 32 pages in, and so far, so good. We're just kind of getting reintroduced to everybody, which is good because it's been a minute since I read the second book, which might have been over a year ago. So I definitely have kind of forgotten who some of the characters are. So I'm enjoying having the recap. The couple in this one is Jack, who is a minor character in the other 2 books, and then Alan, who we met in book 2. And Jack is a baron and is part of the magical community. And Alan is a newspaper reporter and is not part of the magical community. And it's great so far. And then I ordered a book back in October specifically for this vlog, and it arrived today. So I might read that at the same time as this because I don't think that one is very long, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. So yeah, all right. That's a nice little chit chat, friends. I am now going to go and pick up my youngest from school, and I will talk to you either when I am halfway through this or have started the other book. I don't know. We'll see. Hello, friends. I'm having a sad day. The election was yesterday, so I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to. I'm still trying to process my feelings and just trying to distract myself and do other things today. But if I seem low energy or sad, it's because I am. But I did finish Caroline's Heart. I decided to read it first because look at this tiny little baby of a book. It's so tiny. And it was a quick read. I read it in just a couple of sittings. And this is a Western that is set in Texas. And Our main character is Roy, and Roy is a cowboy. Roy is also trans, and, you know, obviously since it's historical, is secretly trans and doesn't want anybody to know for obvious safety reasons. And then our other main character is Cecily, and Cecily is a witch, and witches are very accepted in this world that Austen Chant has built, and she specializes in prosthetics and using leather and other materials to make prosthetic limbs that work as well as the a natural limb would work. That makes sense. Cecily comes to the ranch that Roy works at to help the daughter of the ranch owner who has a prosthetic leg, and Roy is a little bit of, maybe not love at first sight, but like infatuation at first sight. He is very taken with Cecily right away. And how much of this is spoilers? Okay, so one night, Roy and the other cowboys are at this bar, and Cecily walks in, and there's an altercation between one of the drunk cowboys and another man in the bar, and Roy mistakenly gets shot in the heart, and Cecily saves his life, and then it goes from there as Roy recovers. And I haven't rated it yet. I finished it a couple days ago, and I'm not sure exactly what my rating is. I think it's going to be somewhere in the 3 range, sadly. I have read Peter Darling by Austen Chant, which is kind of like a Peter Pan retelling, and I loved it. I loved the writing. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the characters. I loved what Austen Chant did with Peter Pan story. But I just didn't feel connected to this one for most of it. I still like the writing. There were a few typos in this one. It is indie published, and I felt like it could have been, like, it needed one more pass through for somebody looking for errors, but like the typos weren't enough to really detract from my reading experience. I just noticed them. I actually found this book the most engaging after Cecily and Roy confessed their feelings for each other, which was like right at the end of the book. So maybe like the last 15 pages was when I enjoyed it the most. So it's kind of a bummer. Like, if you haven't read Austen Chant yet, I would definitely recommend Peter Darling, because I just love Peter Darling. It would probably be worth rereading it at some point and seeing if I still love it as much, but I thought this was fine. It just didn't hit the way I wanted it to. So yeah, but I did finish it. And I'm just a little bit over 100 pages in A Power Unbound. And this series is, each book follows a different couple. So each book is its own romance, though there is a overarching plot connecting all 3 books. And so this one is really, we're gonna get the conclusion to the mystery and the plot that was established. So in this book, we're getting kind of the conclusion to the mystery from book 1. Book 1 starts with Robin and Edwin is a magician, and in this world, magic is kept secret from regular people. And I think it's called unbusheling if you don't know about the magic. And Robin is an unbusheled person, and he is put into this government role where the job is to interact with the magical community, except he's not prepped for that. And Edwin, who is a magician, meets Robin, and it kind of starts this whole thing. And then there's this group of people who want to find something it's called the contract. And it's the agreement that the Fae made with humans before the Fae left our world and went into their and retreated into their own and kind of shut the door. And the last contract allowed the magic to be left behind, even though the Fae have left. So there's this group of people that are trying to get their hands on the last contract because they want to have the magic all for themselves. And then there's Edwin and Robin and other people that they've collected who are trying to stop that from happening. And so book 1 is Robin and Edwin falling in love, their romance. That is my favorite book in the series. I loved it so much when I read it. And then A Relentless Truth is book 2, and that is Robin's sister Maud and her romance with Violet, who is an actress. And that one takes place on a ship, and there's a little bit of like a locked room mystery on the ship. And then this one is Jack, who used to be a magician and is no longer one. And there's like a mystery around why Jack is no longer a magician. And Alan, who's a newspaper reporter that we met in book 2. And I've been really excited about this one because Jack can be such a jerk, and his and Alan's dynamic with each other in book 2 was so antagonistic, which is really like my favorite dynamic. I love it. I love it when you have a romance and the two main characters, I mostly like it in Achillean romances when they just piss each other off at first. I really dig it. I really dig it. So I'm about 100 pages in. It's okay so far. We're really leaning into the plot and the mystery so far and what's going on with the finding of the last contract and the stuff going on with that other group of magicians who want control of it. We haven't really gotten into the romance yet. Jack and Alan haven't been on page a lot with each other quite yet, and I really just need them to be on page fighting with each other so that they can realize that they love each other. Freya and Mars can get steamy too, so I think this is definitely going to be steamy. Letters to Half Moon Street is not steamy at all because it's epistolary, just the nature of it. And then this one, there's like one steamy scene and it's right at the end, and it's not super explicit, so I think this will definitely be the steamiest of the books so far. But of course, I'll keep you updated as I keep going. I'm just kind of alternating in between reading and watching YouTube videos today, and that's kind of the plan. I need to put away Halloween decorations, but I don't want to. So it makes me sad that October is over, but I should do a little bit of cleanup in amongst the reading and the watching, but there you go. This is a very lengthy update. I will come back when I've made some more progress with this. I also have no idea what I'm going to start, like what book 4 is going to be. I have a couple of options. I'm trying to decide how, like if we have the fantasy to romance scale, I'm trying to decide like where I want to fall on the spectrum. If I want more fantasy, if I want romance, if I want something that's like solidly in the middle and has equal components of both. I just don't know what I'm in the mood for yet. I will, of course, let you know as soon as I figure it out. Hello, friends. It's been a couple of days. I've been processing, as I'm sure a lot of you have been as well. And I have most of today off. I don't have to teach until like 3:30 this afternoon. But I need to not be on my phone because as much as I have been trying not to doom scroll, I've been doom scrolling quite a bit. And I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good. And I just need to do something like productive with my day while the kids are at school. And I want to maybe finish up Power Unbound today. I did end up getting the audiobook from the library, and that has been good, especially when I've been struggling to focus. It's been good to have the audiobook on while I'm reading the physical book. It's helped a lot. Let's do this first. So to stay off my phone, I decided I'm going to do a project today. And I have a bunch of like craft kits that I got for my birthday back in July that I haven't opened yet. I have this cross stitch kit that says live, laugh, loathe. That could be a vibe. if you watched any of my vlogs from the summer, I have not finished my little ghosty library cross stitch, but that fucker is really hard. And I did not realize that it would be hard. And so I'm still working on it, but I've slowed down big time. But since this is more of a kit situation, I think this would be a good, like, somebody telling me what to do instead of me trying to figure out what to do on my own. So definitely don't have those skills today. So this is a choice. I also have a Little Mermaid, I don't even know, bookend, I guess is what this is called. So, and I've built one of these before. I have an Alice in Wonderland one that's on the bookcase. And so I know that this is time consuming, but not hard. And then I don't think I'm gonna pick this one because I think this one will actually be hard. So I don't think this is the project for today, but I also have this little miniature, ooh, there's a shine on that, this little house situation bookend. It's so cute. But I think I actually have to do, I don't know how much electronic stuff I have to do with this one, but this one might be a little challenging. So I don't think I'm gonna do the miniature house. So it kind of is coming down to these two. Let me check the cross stitch one and see if that's a good, like if I can listen to an audiobook. What I'm trying to figure out is, can I do this and listen to my audiobook and not get distracted from my audiobook? Because I know I could do that with this one because I've done it before. It's just like punching stuff out and putting it together. It's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle, except less taxing than, less brain work than jigsaw puzzle. I find jigsaw puzzles really stressful and they make me super anxious. I hate them. I hate doing them. I want to be a jigsaw puzzle girly so desperately. Like, I think the audiobook and the jigsaw puzzle looks like such a good time, but every time I try to sit down and do a jigsaw puzzle, I hate it. Hate it. I feel so stupid when I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle. Oh man, I wish I'd read these instructions before I started the ghosty. That would have maybe made a difference. Maybe, yeah. I don't think I'm gonna do cross stitch. I want to, but that just sounds like a lot more brain work with the counting than I want right now. So I think I'm gonna do this and then I'll listen to the audiobook while I get started. I definitely won't finish this today because I think the other one took me a couple days to finish, but I can at least make progress. Okay, let's talk about A Power Unbound real quick. I'm 260 pages in, and I'm not loving this the way I hoped I would. There are parts I really like. Like, I like these characters a lot. I like Jack. I like Alan. The thing is, I think because this is book 3, and we're trying to wrap up that, you know, mystery that's plot that's arced through all of the books, there's a lot of other stuff in here, and so the romance is really secondary. And I felt like in the first book there was a really good balance of plot and romance, or I don't know, political plot and romance plot. I felt like there's a good balance, whereas this feels a little bit more political plot heavier, and the romance plot is definitely taking a back seat. And I think I just want more romance. My favorite parts are Alan and Jack being together, and they're just not on the page a whole lot. There was a good section back here, maybe like for 100 pages, kind of in the middle of this section, where it was a lot of Jack and Alan, and I loved that. Though of course it's like a pretty superficial relationship right now because they've just like acknowledged that they find each other attractive and that they have similar, I don't know, antagonistic styles to flirting, and so like fighting with each other really works for them. And so I like that part better. We're getting to the point where they've just gotten to a country estate where they're going to be staying for a little while. And I think now they'll be together more because in the rest of the book, for most of the what I've read so far, they've been in London, and Alan has his own house with his family where he lives with all of his family. And then Jack has his house. So they're not together a ton. And there's not a lot of privacy for them to have when they are together. It's a lot of furtive interactions. So I'm hoping they'll be together more and that they'll start to like acknowledge their feelings. And but I don't know. I had such hope that this would be like a 5-star. I've been looking forward to it for so long, and I've been putting it off because I was nervous that it would not be a 5-star and that I wouldn't love it. And I think it'll maybe be like a 4-star, but I'm just so bummed that I haven't loved the rest of the series the way I loved A Marvelous Light, because I didn't really like A Relentless Truth very much. I forget. I think I gave it like something in the 3-star range. And then this one is fine. And I don't even know if I can blame the events of this week on my, not lack of enjoyment, because I have enjoyed it, but I don't know. It hasn't been hitting the way I wanted it to hit, which is bumming me out a little bit. But okay, let's go do our craft, listen to our book, drink some tea, and enjoy being alone in my house for a substantial amount of time.
Chapter 21. It was a long, long conversation.
I just got to a part of Power Unbound where they're talking about the things that are going on in the book, but somebody who's outside of what is going on, as they're talking about the magical community, just said, "You choose your leaders terribly." Maybe this book is hitting too close. Maybe that's why I haven't been loving it. It's not escapist. It's not escapist because it's overthrowing like harmful, selfish leadership. Oh well, I'm too far in now, but so we're just gonna keep going. But that you choose your leaders terribly bit. That hurt. That hurt. Okay, I just finished Power Unbound. I don't know what to give it. I don't know. It was good. It wasn't my favorite. Wanted to check something. Oh, that's kind of clever. Okay, I just wanted to check something that there's like a detail on this book that it occurred to me might relate to the plot, and I was just checking on the other two to see if a similar detail is there, and is. That was a good attention to detail tour. Good job. Anyways, also dishwasher's going, so if you can hear that in the background, then you can hear it in the background. Lucky you. Anyways, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we crammed a lot into this book. And this book, I mean, is just over 400 pages. So not the longest in terms of fantasy, let alone a final book in a fantasy trilogy. And I feel like maybe we were trying to cram too much into this book because it went really quick and it felt, I don't know, I think it felt too fast, which feels wild for me to say because I love a fast-paced book, but I think this was too fast for me. And I don't think the balance of fantasy plot and romance plot, I know I mentioned this earlier, was quite the balance I was hoping for. I would have liked a little bit more romance. We got a ton more of that towards the end, but I didn't find this book as romantic as I found A Marvelous Light. I found Marvelous Light a lot more romantic, which would make sense based off of Edwin and Robin's personalities. Alan and Jack are not romantic people, but I don't know. It just wasn't, it just didn't hit the way I wanted it to. And aside from the pacing and like the romance to fantasy plot balance, I can't tell you like what I would have liked more from this. I think it was a lot to cram into one book. And I don't know, we maybe could have been served by having this be a quartet instead of a trilogy, just to break up the breakneck speed that we were barreling along at in this book. I think are my final thoughts. I don't know what I'm going to rate this. I'm leaning towards either a 3.75 or a 4. I still liked this more than A Restless Truth, so I'm going to have to go back and see what I rated A Restless Truth, and then that will kind of inform where I land on this. But now it's also like, should I even have these on my shelves since I didn't love them? I don't know that I'll reread them. Oh, I did tab A Restless Truth. I didn't realize. Okay. Did I highlight stuff? No, I just tapped. Okay. Well, that's wild. Who knew? I don't know. So now I'm like even questioning, is this a series I want on my shelves or should I unhaul them? There you go. There's my thoughts. I would still recommend, especially the first book, if you are a historical romance fan and either also like fantasy or are a historical romance reader and would like to like tiptoe into fantasy a little bit, because I feel like this one especially is maybe historical romance first and fantasy second. I also think the world building is light because we are in historical England. We are in a world that is mirrored off of, or history that is mirrored off of British history, just there is magic. So the world building isn't crucial to your understanding of what is happening. Okay, now I need to decide what to read next or what to read last. I'm trying to find something that is romance first, fantasy second, or magical second. I could have another reread. I could reread Witchmark, which I haven't read in years. And this is Seal Polk. This is also like a world that is mirroring Edwardian England, but there is magic. This is gay as well. So I could reread this. It has but this one is mostly, this one's probably equal balance, fantasy and romance. I was thinking about reading The Honey Witch, because I know this is sapphic, but I'm not sure how big of a, what's the word I want? I'm not sure how big of a role romance plays in this one. So that's kind of my hesitation. I have the audiobook for Nightmare Before Christmas, which I am going to be honest, I am kind of leaning toward. This is the Prince of Halloween and Santa Claus's son. I don't know, something like that, and it's romance. And like, I think this could also be really fun, and I think maybe a fun book could be good. It also, like, because one is Christmas and one is Halloween, I think it's a good, like, transition book as we're in November. I also think there'll be, like, a rival element, and I'm gonna be honest, I am very much in a rivals mood. I am not in a cozy, sweet, supportive romance mood. I am in a let's butt heads before we bang kind of mood. Okay. Well, man, why do I say things on the internet? I just should not be allowed on the internet sometimes. So, anyways, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. So I'm gonna go think about it some more, and I will update y'all when I have something worthwhile to tell you, I guess. Good morning, friends. It's the next day, and I have a book haul to show you. Plus, we can talk about Nightmare Before Christmas. So we went to our library's book sale this morning, and I got 3 things there. It was great. I took the kids for the first time. I haven't taken them to the library book sales before, and we all picked out, how many books did we get in total? We got a bunch of books. It was under $5. I love the library sale. I don't always find stuff, but I lucked out and I found 3 things that I am genuinely interested in. The first one is Clara and the Sun by Kazu Ishiguro, which is a few years old. Probably more than a few, maybe 5 years old, 4 years old. I remember when this came out. Yeah, 2021. Okay, so 3 years old. No, 4, because it's almost 25. Anyways, it's backlist. And I remember being really interested in it when it came out. It's about AI, and it is literary fiction, but I think it's hopeful it's the type of literary fiction that I will enjoy and that will really work for me. So I grabbed that. And then I also got a collection of Washington Irving short stories that has The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, even though spooky season is over. I really love The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and I kind of wish I'd read it this year. Also, Rip Van Winkle is in here, which I always forget is by Washington Irving, and I think that's the only one I'm actively familiar with, but I do want to get back into reading classics in 2025, so I feel like this is an investment for next spooky season. And then I got Stealing Thunder by Elena Boyden, which this has been on my TBR for a really long time. I've checked it out from the library a couple of times. Every time I'm in a bookstore and I see it, I pick it up. And it's, I believe, South Asian inspired, but the main character is a trans woman. I've been really interested in it. And it's a debut, so I'm hopeful I will really like it. So I'm happy with my little haul from there. And then as we were getting home, our mail carrier was walking up with my Aardvark book box for November. And I didn't love the list for Aardvark for this month. There just wasn't there wasn't really anything I was interested in. Like, there's the one that I was moderately interested in, which is the one I got, and then everything else I was just kind of like meh about. I was really hoping Nino Chipri's newest book was going to be on that list, but alas, it was not. So I did end up getting a horror that I'm interested in American Rapture by C.J. Lead. This is a new horror book. This is the author of Mayfly, which I haven't read yet. I kind of want to. I also kind of hate the cover. Oh, it's signed. I think I knew that. I don't really care about signed books, but this one is. This is, in case you can't tell from the cover, got some religious trauma in it, which I'm figured out this year that I like horror with religious trauma. It also has to do with a virus going through the United States. So I don't know if this will be cathartic or if this will be triggering. I'm just not sure how I'm gonna feel about this. I'm hoping that I like it, again, because religious tones in books really work for me, or in horror, like characters confronting and overcoming religious trauma is something that I'm really drawn to, and I really like unpacking through horror books specifically. So I'm hoping I will like this. But if you're curious, these are the rest of the books that were my choices for this month. And I'm not sure if H.G. Perry is an author that I'm going to like. I didn't like the plot for Memorial. I don't want romance. It's about motherhood, which, you know, I am not into. And then the last one's historical fiction, which is also not my thing. So not a large amount of choices for me this month, but that's okay. Again, hopefully this one will be a hit. I really do love the purple on the naked hardcover. I do love that color scheme. So yeah, that's the book haul. Nightmare Before Christmas has no business being as cute as it is. We are, excuse me, ma'am. We are following Cole, who is the son of the King of Christmas, which is different from Santa Claus. Like Santa Claus is like, you know, the real world representative, but the kingdom of Christmas is ruled by a king, and each holiday has its own monarch. And Cole is the heir, but he's also kind of a screw up and he makes mistakes a lot, and he doesn't really want to inherit Christmas. And the book starts where he's like made a big mistake in like June. And so it's a PR disaster, and his dad is pissed at him and is like demanding that he come home to clear it up, because in this imagined world, our real world exists, and then the holiday kingdoms exist like in a separate dimension universe, like, but it's connected to our world. Just regular people just don't know about it. But the people from those holiday kingdoms can be out in like the normal world. So like Cole is going to Yale and he works like crappy retail jobs and like is getting a degree, but at the end of the day, like he's supposed to inherit Christmas. And his father summons him and his brother home, and basically like springs this fake engagement on Cole to one of his best friends, who is the heir to Easter. And then the Halloween court shows up to be like, hey, Christmas, you are being sketchy and we don't want you to have any more power than you already have. And so the Prince of Halloween is also going to compete for the Princess of Easter's hand in marriage. Only Cole and Hex, the Prince of Halloween, have kissed before. And so yeah, unbeknownst to Cole, but like, anyways, I don't know if I explained that well. It is thoroughly ridiculous and not serious, and I'm having a really fun time with it. It's really cute. It's really funny. I'm really mad that I only have it on audio, because I feel like if I had a paper copy, I would be flying through this, but I'm just not. I haven't had very much audiobook time in the last like 18 hours, but I just know I just want to be consuming this book 100% of the time, and I'm low-key mad every time I have to turn it off. Yeah, it's exactly what I needed. I just need a book not really based in reality with a ridiculous plot and like semi-ridiculous characters, but it's also like really sweet. I think it technically is new adult because Cole is a senior in college. I'm having a grand old time right now, so hopefully that continues. And hopefully for clear your shit purposes, I just do not buy books to cope emotionally for the next 2 months. Hopefully this is it for November as far as book purchases go. But anyways, I'll keep y'all posted on how this goes. Hey friends, happy Sunday. I've really done a garbage job of keeping you updated, but I've been reading a little slow. Also, not having this on physical is also slowing me down big time because it's a 3-day weekend for the kids, and so I just haven't had a lot of audiobook time. But I'm 59% of the way through The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm continuing to really, really enjoy this book. And look, it's got like 2 things that I typically do not enjoy in romance novels. It's single POV, which I'm usually not a fan of. I like to get both people's like points of view, and it's present tense, which I also usually do not enjoy, but I'm loving it in this. I am continuously picturing Joe Locke as he is in Agatha all along as Cole, even though Cole has like red hair. It doesn't matter. This is what I'm picturing. Even though this really fits probably Hex better, but I don't know. That's just what I've got going in my head, and it's a great time. I've gotten to like, I couldn't figure out if this like what trope this was going to be, but this is like secret relationship, and it's so fun. I like Hex and Cole so much. I really love Cole's brother and his best friend. Their characters are really great and feel like real people, not just like foils for Cole. Also, Santa is the worst. I hate him so much. So much. Every time he's on page, I'm like, let me at him. Let me at him. Also, I thought this was going to be like a fun little, like, you know, magical-ish rom-com. Surprise, surprise. This is like political fantasy romance. Who knew? Like, there's this whole political plot about how Christmas has been treating the other kingdoms and like the corruption within Christmas as a kingdom, and it's just like I love it. I love it. It was such a surprise, but like it's giving what could be like a silly little story a high stakes, and I'm really digging that. It's also gotten kind of steamy, so I think I said this already, but this is definitely like, I think, new adult, and is on the steamier side, though it is like slow burn. Like, I was past the 50% mark before anything really started happening between Hex and Cole. So, I'm having a great time. I don't think it's going to be a 5-star. Like, I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not finding excuses to listen to my audiobook like the way I do when I'm really obsessed with one, but I am really enjoying it every time I turn it on, and it is a good time, and it's making me really happy. So the deadline, the end of the semester was yesterday, so who I am as a 40-year-old completing assignments is apparently also who I was when I was 21 and having to finish assignments, so I am late. That's okay. I meant to do all the reviews for what I've read for this series on Instagram, but I just didn't get to it, but that's okay because it's just for fun. But I've had a great time doing like this series, and I imagine I will probably do this again for spring semester or winter semester. I'm not sure which one they do, but whatever they end up doing, I'm sure I'll participate again because it's been a grand old time. So anyways, the task for today is to keep listening, and I don't think I can finish it today. How many hours do I have left? 5 hours left. Even at 2 times speed, I mean, I would have to listen so much today. I just don't know that that's practical, but I could finish it by tomorrow. So that will be the goal, and imagine the next time you see me is when I will have finished this book. I'll try to get some more B-roll, but it's not a super priority. So also let me know how you feel about B-roll. There are some times where, like, as a viewer, I really like it, and the other times where I'm like, okay, I get it. Can we just get to like talking about the books? And it kind of depends on like content creator, how much B-roll is in the video. Like, do you like having B-roll in between each talking segment, or like just tell me your B-roll preferences. Tell me what you think, because interested to know. And I'll talk to you later. Well, it's the end of the day. You can see my epic crochet mat. No, not crochet. What is that? Cross stitch mess is still on the floor. I need to pick that up. But I wanted to tell you that I finished Nightmare Before Christmas. And I feel like every time I have a good chunk of an audiobook left and I come on here and I say, oh, I don't know if I could possibly finish it today, I genuinely believe I'm not capable of finishing that audiobook in a day. I didn't think I would, but I ended up having enough like little chores around the house that it was good company and I needed to get all that stuff done, and so I just kept listening to it. And I think I'm gonna give it a 4. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute. I liked the political intrigue with Christmas as a kingdom and all the other holidays as kingdoms. I liked the growth we saw in Cole. I liked his relationship with Hex and how that developed. I liked Cole's relationship with his brother Christopher and his best friend Iris from the Easter Kingdom. I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a really fun, lighthearted, but also like kind of serious book. Like I feel like the premise sounds so silly, and parts of it are very silly, but in a way that like, I don't know, like silly but with purpose, I guess, is how I would describe that. But I had so much fun. And the audiobook I felt like was really well done as well. I really liked the narrator that they hired to read it. So with that, we are going to end this video. One day overdue, but probably like a week overdue, because I think it's gonna take me like, I have another video planned for later this week, so I think this will be Sunday's video, so I'll be a full week behind by the time you see this, but that's okay. You shifted the camera. And but yeah, I have really liked this little vlog project. I'm kind of sad it's over, but I think I'll definitely be doing it next year. You're gonna mess it all up. Oh, let me go get the books. Okay, so it feels like this vlog's been going on for forever. I think it's only been a week, but here we are. I think if we're going in order of least enjoyed to most enjoyed, I would probably rate it Caroline's Heart, A Power Unbound, if you can see that little baby book under there, Nightmare Before Christmas, and then Letters to Half Moon is still my favorite. So good. I love it so much. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and spending your precious time with me. If you watched all 3 of the videos in this series, I would love to hear your thoughts and like what type of romance you like to read, what kind of subgenre in romance you like to read, and just tell me all your thoughts, all the things. I'd love to hear it. And if you would like to leave an emoji to let me know you were here, I guess let's leave a Christmas emoji. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I hope I was able to provide a little bit of escape during what I'm sure is going to be a very tumultuous next 4 years. And just take care of yourselves, and we've got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of things to fix and to do better at, and that's gonna take a lot of work. So I hope you rest and recharge and take care of yourself so that you are able to help enact the change that I think we really need to be less hateful and divisive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.